Protests and violence erupting again in Milwaukee. Demonstrators firing shots.
A lot of shots right now.
Throwing objects.
Oh, it looks like the gas tank just popped.
And setting cars on fire. At least one person was shot and rushed to the hospital. A police officer also hospitalized after a rock smashed the windshield of a squad car. The weekend of violence began on Saturday with demonstrators torching several businesses, overturning cars and throwing rocks at police to protest the police shooting death of 23-year-old Sylvell Smith. Smith was shot fleeing a traffic stop when police say he turned toward the officer with a gun in his hand. The officer's body camera capturing the deadly encounter. Milwaukee's mayor tried to address the festering anger about whether the shooting was justified.
Without question, he had a gun in his hand. And I want our community to know that.
Governor Scott Walker activating the National Guard to assist police and declaring a state of emergency.
I was worried about whether or not things would escalate.
His family and friends holding a vigil marked by prayers.
Thy kingdom come, thy will be done.
With his sister calling for peace.
Don't bring the violence here and the ignorance here.
Milwaukee police say they made multiple arrests overnight. We're still waiting on those final numbers. It comes on top of the 17 arrests made Saturday night.
CNN later apologized, saying they unintentionally gave the impression she was calling for peace. Well, they said she was calling for peace. That's not unintentional. That was deliberate. They didn't just unintentionally edit the video to cut off what she was saying about taking the violence to the suburbs. CNN actually said she called for peace. That's not unintentional. So here's a video taken at the scene where the sister of Sylvell Smith was supposedly calling for peace, according to CNN. Some of this clip is preceding the edited part that CNN aired, and some of it follows. Here we go.
Burning down shit ain't gonna help nothing. Y'all burning down shit we need in our community. Take that shit to the suburbs. Burn that shit down. We need our shit. Y'all wanna hurt somebody, take that shit further out. Don't bring it here. Don't bring the violence here and the ignorance here. We need everything we fucking got.
So CNN was not being objective, not showing what was really happening. It was a deliberate distortion. The next obvious question is, why did CNN do this? What purpose does it serve? What is their agenda? Well, one thing that stands out is that they go out of their way not to show blacks and other so-called oppressed or marginalized groups in a bad light. A typical leftist would say that this reinforces negative stereotypes regarding such groups. To this I would say that the behavior of large segments of such groups, in this case blacks, is what reinforces negative stereotypes. The folks at CNN, and indeed most of mainstream media, seem to think that the reporting of bad behavior among members of certain groups is what reinforces negative stereotypes. They have it backwards, and their strategy will not work in the long run.